Hello, everyone. Visokii Entertainment. We got Charlie,
Yo.
Brady, Garrett,
and John Cena.
Yes.
All right.
Big dog.
On SmackDown this week, just talking a little bit of review. Raw was at least 2/3 wrestling because the first 2 hours was the same match.
That's kind of nuts.
There was at least 2 hours of wrestling on this show.
We had 2 hours of wrestling and then the 6-woman tag at the end. So I'd say 2.5 hours was wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, at least.
Impressive. If that was your thing, I mean, we'll talk about it. So Raw kicked off with the Gauntlet match. A whole second, yeah. So Roman Reigns kicks off the show, followed by Seth Rollins. And these two have like a 20-minute match in their own right. They went for a while.
And a good 20-minute match, but yeah.
Yeah. And Rollins ended up pulling out the win, super tired. And then John Cena ended up coming down. Ooh, COD World League kicking off right now.
Intriguing.
And then John Cena ended up coming down as like, oh, well, Cena will come down and beat him. But he didn't come out and beat him real quick like most people thought was going to happen, which is cool. They had like a 30-minute match. So
Also good.
Rollins ended up being in the match. He did end up losing to Cena. But literally 50 minutes into the match, close to an hour into the match, Rollins is doing a rollover attitude adjustment to Cena.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was obvious what WWE wanted to do. They said, all right, if Rollins is no longer a tag team guy, we got to make him look strong. Put him out there. Go ahead, Rollins. Use your CrossFit Jesus
abilities.
Skills. Yeah, just go ahead. You just go out there and do your thing. And he did his thing, and he ended up getting the win on Cena as well.
Yeah, that was huge.
So Roman and Cena are now both eliminated. And at this point, Rollins has been in the match, like I said, for like 50 minutes.
And he's got the crowd behind him.
Mm-hmm. And then he goes another 15 minutes with Elias, who comes out. And Elias ends up putting him away with the drift away. And then I fast-forwarded through the rest of it because we all knew Braun was going to win. And, yeah, so anyway, Elias beat Seth. Finn beat Elias. The Miz beat Finn. And then Braun beat The Miz. So everyone that came out after after Cena ended up winning their portion and then moved on to Braun at the end, and Braun stood tall. I think we could have all, if we had to pick someone before this, we probably would have said it was going to be Braun, right? And
Oh, yeah.
I'll wait to give
number one. He's winning. I mean,
yeah. I'll wait to give my complete opinion. I have more things to talk about this match. I mean, it was 2/3 of Raw, so we might as well talk about it quite a bit. But
Yeah.
Charlie, what was your opinion on first the showing by Rollins, and second the fact that Braun won the whole thing?
Yeah. So with Rollins, I think we can all agree in a sense that he needed this, right?
Yes.
He needed this, and the fact of how much he got the crowd behind him, I thought was very telling. And to the writers, I think this is ballsy.
Here's the thing, Charlie, he never lost them. He never lost the crowd. They were always with him.
Yeah, that's true. And I got to give credit to the writers here. This is ball. I would like the exact time. I think it was like 2 hours and 10 minutes.
I seen a headline that said less than 2 hours, but I mean,
oh well, yeah. If we include entrances and whatnot, I don't know. But this was going deep, man. And
if you're giving credit to the writers, I think we also have to give credit to the music staff, CFOS or whatever. If they were the ones that are mixing up Rollins' theme song, adding the "Burn It Down" to the beginning of his theme song paid huge dividends. Listen to the "Burn It Down."
People are chanting. Yeah, I just think that's very ballsy to do. And I mean, they had an idea and they went with it. And with Braun winning, I think that's the safest bet because he's not winning on Sunday.
Man, that Burn It Down thing was cool.
That keeps him, it keeps him as the big man, even though he's, because we all know he's not winning. So it works for him. It makes sense for him to win. And the fact that it clobbered Miz Taraj at the end is telling for our WrestleMania feud.
Garrett, we saw in the match, and you can give your opinions on Rollins and stuff as well. But we also saw Elias get the pin on Rollins. Was that the way to do it, or would you like to see Rollins go a little farther? And then, what is Miz's motivation for not just laying down and taking the pin when he sees Braun Strowman come down the aisle?
Okay, so a little bit to unpack there. So the first bit, I would have liked to see Rollins go the whole time. Honestly, if you have him go all the way to Braun and then get crushed by Braun after already having gone through a ringer, because Braun came out at 7, so you could have built. Because by the time Miz came out, you're like, oh, Braun's last. But if Miz comes out and it's Rollins, you're like, oh, now he's screwed, you know? So you're like thinking in your head, there's no way he can win. You can flip that switch. I doubt you do that in this match. But it'd be nice to see him make it that far. One thing I want to say, The Miz and Finn did really good work with each other in this match. Like, I wouldn't mind, and I think I said this when they kind of hinted at it a little while back when the Balor clip stuff started. I wouldn't mind seeing an IC title feud between them two at Mania. But you know, at the same time, you know, the overall match, I mean, if you're going to have Braun win, I guess you don't have Rollins crush everybody, because then it seems kind of pointless, because he just crushes everyone and then gets crushed. But maybe Braun justifies that, because I don't think who on the roster beats Braun, right?
Well, logically, look at how big he is. Could you, if you're looking at it, you know, non-kayfabe, real world, all the people in those match, I mean, if it were a real fight, maybe Roman would stand a chance, but everyone else would get completely destroyed.
So, all right, I have something. I have an idea with the way that the eliminations went. So Garrett was saying maybe just have him go the whole way. I think why they didn't do this and why they had him beat Cena and Roman. So Roman is winning, right? We can all. It's been a planning for a year. He doesn't need this win tonight. Referring to Monday, he didn't need that win. Cena is, and in this they're trying to get Rollins over. So him beating Cena, the other guy who really doesn't, you know, need any more wins in his career, to be honest, it doesn't hurt Cena, and it only helps Rollins. And then you have Elias come out and get this because Elias isn't winning, and he still needs to get, like, he's still trying to. You're still trying to. I'm trying to think of the right word. I want to say like save face almost, where it doesn't hurt them because they got to win. And I think that's why they had everyone get a pin. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I know you mean.
Roman,
the two people that didn't need it. You know
exactly. And this helped Rollins because he beat them first, and then everyone got the pin, so they got, you know. I just well,
I like that
thinking
idea
about that, kind of maybe why that was the order and why they. I hope this pays off for Rollins. I hope he mentions this. I mean, he beat theoretically the most 2 protected guys in the company, right? Theoretically, other than Brock.
Yeah.
Brock's champion right now, but
I mean, wow. So for me, with the match, okay. This is going to sound crazy. Elias, if it weren't for Rollins' performance, is Elias, based on crowd reaction, not the biggest babyface in the company? Him and Rusev? If we're going based on reactions.
Completely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people love him.
WrestleMania next year, looking way forward ahead, is there any way we see Elias versus Braun, with Braun being the biggest heel and Elias being the biggest babyface? Did I say that right?
And I think I think this could happen because I see Elias winning that briefcase, man, which theoretically would put him in that main event scene, you know. So,
and I would love if they just. I wish that. It'd be great, except that we would get Elias versus Brock at Mania. But I would love for that to be the way he wins, is to get a pin over Strowman after Strowman gets destroyed by everybody else, you know, and him be able to say, "I beat Braun Strowman in the Elimination Chamber," and that's what sparks the feud.
It would be really interesting if we made a list of. Let's do this maybe next episode, or we could make a special episode or something at one point. The top 10 guys that we think are going to be at the top of the company next year. It'll be a lot of the same names, but who we think
Randy Orton.
What next year's card? Because think back to how far away, think about how far away last year's WrestleMania seems.
It's almost a year.
No. It feels like a different company, dude.
It's nuts, right? So who's saying that Elias couldn't be the biggest thing in the company? Did we think a year ago that Braun was going to be the biggest thing in the company? What did Braun do at Mania last year?
Andre the Giant, and he lost.
Yeah.
Dude, think about that.
Yeah.
And right now we're begging for him to be like world champion.
I think, and the thing is, I don't think you have Elias switch brands either. I think you have him be a megastar on Raw. I think he's
that question. Okay, really quickly. If we're going to have unified pay-per-views, are we going to go back to the old model of having a unified pay-per-view but have multiple titles still? One for each brand? Or are they going to have to unify titles now that they're going back to single pay-per-views?
I mean, going back to the stuff that I was saying last night, I love the idea. What I would do, I love the idea of there's one world champion match on each pay-per-view. There's one women's title match on every time, and one tag match. You flip it back and forth, and then I like the idea of one cross-brand match on every pay-per-view, and the winner of that, like whoever represents their company, the winner of that match, which would be the opening match of the night, gets like the main event that night or something. You know, put some.
Yeah. He put some stakes in it. Yeah, agreed. Would be innovative.
It'd be weird because they'd have to build up two separate sets of feuds each month, and then it's oh, which matches are we getting?
No, you don't have to build it up.
No, yeah, you
can
don't
be complete random. They can make it almost random.
You're talking go back the rest of the wrestling market and just ignore storylines and just say screw it, have matches.
No, not necessarily. I just say at the beginning of every pay-per-view, the two general managers come out and say, I've chosen this person this month.
Because, yeah, theoretically, now that there's dual brands, 75% of the roster is going to be off the pay-per-view. So if you have a random draw where two females from each brand, or, one from each brand open up the show, and the winner, could be interesting. I see what you're saying.
I don't know, just to do something different,
Yeah, agreed.
Anything else you guys want to talk about this match in particular? Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about, I already kind of mentioned it once. I want to talk about The Miz in this match. He knows that Braun Strowman is the last person coming out. Why on earth is The Miz why is The Miz not just sitting down on the mat and tapping out? Because it was obvious that this match was designed with Rollins in mind, mainly. So, I don't know. Personally, just don't get it. But, why would The Miz risk everything here?
I think he tries to run away right when he runs out or when he comes out.
Maybe I missed that part. I don't know.
I think it was a brief, he goes to the ropes and he gets yanked back up kind of thing.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
I might be remembering wrong. Also, I have a horrible memory, so chances are you're probably right, but
All right, so let's talk about what happened after this match. We had Asuka came out for an interview. She needs a manager. Can we agree?
Yep.
I just say let her cut the promo in Japanese.
Dude, honestly, if you just, and I don't think anyone's going to have a problem with this, except maybe the performers. If you hire one of the people on your Japanese commentary table, Funaki even, to walk out and play interpreter, nobody's going to be mad.
Nope.
I don't even think the wrestlers will be. You know what? They might even be happier because they can get their promos across better. Because my guess is because Funaki's had a hold of the language for as long as he has, that he knows how to interpret what they're saying in Japanese and get the actual meaning and extrapolate that to English. Because, solemn language sometimes it doesn't quite translate even if you learn it. It just is the way the phraseology and words get spoken in different languages. But, honestly, someone that's lived the language and worked it and worked as a wrestler, I mean, dude, you know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, why not? They have plenty of people that can speak. They're doing the same thing with Nakamura on SmackDown. Like, why do they need to try to cut promo? And I know people will say, well, it's because the show is based out of the United States, so they need to speak, welcome to America, you got to speak American.
Doesn't the show get broadcast in like 150 million countries?
Yep.
I mean,
I would just let them talk in Japanese, to be honest.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't really matter what they're saying. People are going to cheer them anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and, they can get some. I mean, with Andrade, they hooked him up with Selena because he can't speak English too well. Sometimes you got to do that. I feel like Shinsuke, his words get across better than Asuka. I think Asuka has a really, I feel like Shinsuke just knows the language a little better.
See, I think Asuka's come off way better. Like, I don't know.
I think it's kind of hit or miss with both of them. I think on different promos, I've been able to understand Shinsuke better, as well as Asuka.
Still sounds like an adult. Shinsuke sounds like a child that's just learning English.
I think that's because Asuka did know a little bit of English before she came to the WWE, and I'm fairly confident that Shinsuke knew none. Enough to wrestle against American guys would be my guess. You know what I mean? Or English-speaking people, because I know, and this is the thing that I think people forget a lot of times. Over in Japan, there are so many people. You probably don't nowadays need somebody to actually know how to speak Japanese, like Omega and Styles and Gallows and Anderson probably learned when they went there because of how early they went there.
Right
before the scene got mega hot again for some reason in 2012. Yeah, I mean, you never know, man. I just hope they do that at some point. I've been championing that for a while.
What, like the Funaki kind of thing?
Yeah, anybody, just anyone, someone that can translate it into English.
Well, imagine if one of these reporters could, if instead of just hiring the pretty girl, you get one that,
Well, Renee Young is intelligent and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, there's people out there, I'm sure, that would love to work for the WWE that are Japanese that would love to translate for Shinsuke and Asuka. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's more than them. I mean, you could have
plenty
promos and Tommy.
That's true. Yeah, you're even right. Yeah, but not even. Well, I'm just going off main roster. I don't think they're gonna do that for NXT. Like in NXT, it doesn't really matter. Most people in NXT don't even really cut promos anymore. Don't need it. They don't need it. They know the brand's good. They don't need it. You know what I mean? They do it for storyline purposes. At this point,
Right. All right. We had the Bar versus Titus Worldwide again.
Titus Worldwide. Hey, Brady, you know that thing where WWE does a thing 3 weeks ago and then they forget about it and they say, hey, let's do that again. No one will remember, right?
Right.
All right, moving on.
Apollo's name is Apollo now. It's not Apollo Crews anymore. That's the big thing. What do you guys think about dropping? The rumor is that the Crews name was dropped because of the school shooter at Parkland. His name was Nicholas Cruz, I think.
Mm-hmm. I fully believe that is why. Because Cruz can't lose was getting chanted at house shows. There's no way they finally start getting this guy over. They change.
Hold on, they chant Cruz can't lose.
Yes, it was getting chanted at house shows. He was finally.
I've never heard it on TV though. House shows don't count.
No, it was getting on TV. Their last match. It was very fresh. I'm talking the last weekend of house shows before he just changed his name here.
It's going to be so weird when they announce him now. From Stone Mountain, Georgia, Apollo!
I mean, who knows, man? Everyone always says his name was a mixture of Apollo Creed and Terry Crews anyways.
And then Terry Crews roasted him on Twitter.
That's funny. It's spelled the same way too, isn't it?
Let me look it up. I gotta look it up now.
Yeah, I think it's spelled. I think Cruz is spelled the same way. Watch, I'm gonna get this wrong and be completely an idiot. Watch, I bet it is. I made it up. Let's find out. I bet it is.
9 hours ago, what was it? I can't remember.
Oh, well, there, lass. It's all right. I said, lass. What am I doing?
We had a 6-woman tag. It was so nice, man. They hyped it up. We heard that we were getting a 6-woman tag on SmackDown on Sunday, which, you know, if you weren't hyped enough for that, when as Raw was starting, we got the update that Raw was going to have a 6-man or 6-woman tag on Raw. Charlie, were you not stoked for that?
I'll be honest, man. I have no idea. This, with how bad the women's writing has been, there's no way they're going to get Ronda Rousey right. She should be a stone cold killer like Brock, but it's not going to happen. We'll probably ever lose her first match to Stephanie McMahon.
You think?
The crowd chance will be over 9,000.
I really hope I'm wrong, but hey, it could happen.
So I'll be honest, and I really didn't watch her in the Mae Young Classic, but I'm watching NXT talking about the women. I really like Bianca Belair.
Oh yeah, she's awesome.
I really, really genuinely think she's going to be amazing.
Good.
I don't know. There's just something about her. She's kind of doing Sasha Banks, her gimmick a little bit.
I don't know.
That's the issue, is that she's trying to be Sasha Banks with long hair, but
the chick, she's good. That hair snap will get over on the main roster. I promise you.
Beating someone over the head with your hair?
Dude, oh my God. That thing snaps. I believe, I want to say we saw her in NXT at one of the shows and we heard that, but I can't remember.
No, I maybe like her debut match, but she wasn't really anything when we saw her. But I'm telling you, man, she's going to be special. And I mean, they might put her and Sasha as a faction together. Or they might just have her, you know, maybe we'll get 3 more women called up. Let's see. Let's play the game of which 3 NXT women are going to get called up before the iconic duo. I'm saying
Nikki Cross, Insanity will be up before then.
That's true. Aaliyah.
Aaliyah probably.
Oh my God.
Lacey Evans.
Oh, definitely Evans. Yeah, for sure.
They're trying her to faction.
Taynara Conti.
Wait, they're seriously trying another women's faction?
No. It's not a women's faction. It's a 4-person group with a 1 woman. So it's a tag team of Wesley Blake and I can't remember the other guy's name, and a really big dude. He's not that big. He's kind of tall.
Okay.
And
great
they're trying
Raw, guys. We had a lot of wrestling.
And I'll be honest, since I was in the mood for wrestling, but then again, man, I felt like it died so quick.
As soon as Rollins got pinned, the air was taken. Okay, actually continue your point, and then I'll say how it was from me.
I mean, I'm kind of similar because once Rollins was pinned, it was an hour. We got Balor and Elias. I like them both a lot. I was like, this is all right. But it felt like it definitely went much slower after that but I thought Rollins' performance was so great. I thought it was a great idea to do that. Because this is huge for him. So for Rollins, it would be a B. But the rest of the show just so B-.
Garrett?
It's funny because my mom left when Rollins came out, to Roman. And when she came back like an hour later, Rollins was still in the ring, and she's like, "Did you pause this?" I was like, "Nope, this is the same match."
Nice.
I'll give it a B- as well. I enjoyed the wrestling, man. The first 2 matches there, man, they were solid, man. Like
the only 2 matches.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, there were 3 matches.
Okay, first 2 matches of the Gauntlet, or
sorry, the first 2 Gauntlet matches, I should say, were solid. That's the only reason why the other stuff was just filler, really. Honestly,
I'm gonna look at it this way. Most Raws, doesn't it seem like we always say they start off strong? The first hour was really good, and then it takes a nosedive, and the last 2 hours are god awful. Was this not the same case, except it was wrestling instead of really good segments? Because Rollins got pinned an hour and 5 minutes into the match. The first hour of the show was the good stuff, and then after that was the last half of the Gauntlet match.
It's like they realized that's where people checked out.
Over and over again, a terrible Asuka promo and a 6-woman tag. So
I mean, it's like they knew people were going to check out at the point where Rollins went out, and so they just put the good stuff there so that when people checked out, it didn't matter anyway.
Yeah, that's not the way to run your business.
It's not at all, especially not production.
That being said, if you look at it that way, where it was an hour of good stuff and 2 hours of terrible stuff, I would say I've got to give it a C. That sounds like an average show to me.
Yeah.
Looking at the big picture, although I loved the Rollins stuff. But after Rollins got pinned, I cared about 0 things on the show.
Yep.
Do you like how they're going into Elimination Chamber with 5 matches? They're not overdoing themselves.
Good.
Think about what they could have filled this undercard with. Just crap.
Hey, man.
And I'm really glad that they're not.
The big rumors that we're going to 5-hour pay-per-views when the merger happens.
Oh, I'm definitely never watching a pre-show again, if that's the case.
I think it's pre-show and 4 hours. I think the rumor of 5 hours would be pre-show and a 4-hour pay-per-view. Still too long, in my opinion. Yeah. I say you just leave people off.
I don't mind watching, because we have to watch basically 5 hours of WrestleMania, SummerSlam, all the big 4. We basically have to watch 5 hours of show. I don't mind doing that because it's a pay-per-view. That's
usually I'm hyped to watch it anyways when it's that.
Right. Usually they built up enough of a few things on the show that I'm interested in. Or at least if there's one match on the show I'm looking forward to, I'll watch that match at least. You know what I mean? So and if it's in the middle of the card and I'm like, well, I guess I'm watching the rest of the show until then, you know.
If you organize it right with the joint pay-per-views, it could be great because then the show, let's say they wanted it to be a Raw heavy pay-per-view or whatever. Never mind. Okay, let's say the SmackDown World Championship is being defended at the pay-per-view, but the Raw World Championship is not. That allows Raw to put on during that month of the pay-per-view. That allows them to put a World Championship match on Raw, and vice versa if it were the Raw Championship and not the SmackDown Championship. And then you play it out. So all of a sudden, Raw has their World Championship and the Tag Championship going on at the pay-per-view, but the Women's Championship is not. Then you can build that and put that on Raw. SmackDown, same way. All of a sudden, over the span of a month, each show will combine with the 2 shows. You'll have 3 title defenses during the weekly shows. And then so each week you'll get a new title on the line on regular TV, and then you'll still get 3 title matches at the pay-per-view. So why not? Then all of a sudden it brings viewers.
Honestly, this is going to sound crazy. I think you could justify doing all of SmackDown's title matches on TV if you just wanted to go back to single pay-per-views.
Yeah.
And that would be awesome. It'd be like SmackDown back in the mid-2000s, you know?
Oh, we're definitely going to have more title changes on TV.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, remember when we had the single brand or the single company brands? That's what it was like all the time. We got an IC or US title match every other week, you know, because they needed to keep those titles in the picture. Otherwise, they got lost in the shuffle, you know?
I really want to make a list of if we brought back old titles, who would hold them? Hardcore Championship.
6-man tag team championship. It's the New Day and
European Championship. The $1 Million Championship.
I still think they should just bring the 6-man tag team championship back anyway.
Agreed. What do you guys think about, real quick, what do you think about Ellsworth's Intergender World Championship?
Intriguing. I don't know. It'll something for him to do, right?
Garrett?
I hadn't seen anything about that, but I mean, the idea is interesting.
James Ellsworth had a transgender world championship created that he's defending.
I mean, it's a good gimmick for the guy to make money on shows, you know. He's probably getting paid a lot more than he ever did before, you know.
Yep.
Something I would say also is the pay-per-view shit, they have no reason not to be stacked after this. There is no reason for us to go into a pay-per-view and it be like, and
yet we still will, Charlie. We still will.
I don't know. If they do it right, we're going to have 2 full-time champions, so.
good luck seeing Ty Dillinger or the Ascension on a pay-per-view ever again.
Or a show.
Yeah.
And maybe it's time to cut people like that.
I don't know.
Get ready for NXT.
I mean, it's true. It's true. In this landscape where it's going to be mostly NXT picks in the next 2 years.
Yeah, but that's why we switched to different brands, because the brand split was a possibility because we had so much talent. There was too much talent.
They can't handle it even when they got 2 shows. They need to start another one. They did start another one. They started 205 Live, and it's still not enough. Although they haven't put anybody from NXT, I don't think, has come up to 205 Live, have they?
Buddy Murphy just got added, and
Hideo.
And Hideo, who's the guy that was just in the tournament?
Roddy
Strong.
You know, it's
so those are your guys. I mean, and so a few, but not nearly as much as either other brand has gotten. You know,
Aleister Black's going to come up and run 205.
He could.
Kevin Owens faced Dolph Ziggler, and Kevin Owens won.
That kick in the head was interesting.
With some help from Sami Zayn. I mean, I guess the big storyline here is that Ziggler is officially being booked as a babyface.
That and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn's friendship's renewed. If you ever thought it wasn't.
I don't know. I don't even care to talk about the match.
Wasn't too great.
It was a match.
Jinder Mahal was out there.
Yep.
He was angry that Randy Orton was on the top 10 list, and he read off his own personal top 10 list. And Randy Orton was not on the list. Guys, give me a gasp, please.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. Randy Orton was not on the list, and Jinder Mahal voted himself number 1. Garrett, what do you think about the top 10 list being the Bobby Roode? What do you think about Jinder Mahal's top 10 list? Or Bobby Roode's own top 10 list?
Let's see. So you can't hinder Jinder.
It's true.
It's impossible.
Unless you're the creative team.
Well,
again,
I don't know if it's them necessarily that's hindering Jinder.
I think it is.
However, I would say it's probably some of it. I'm sure the guy's got well-meaning intentions. He just sucks. But I don't know, man. I don't have much to say on this because it's just like, you can have a segment like this if you want. It's their wrestling show, man. Who am I to judge, right?
Who's on?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Charlie?
I would say. Sorry, I was distracted. What would you ask? I wasn't thinking.
Just talking about the Jinder Mahal promo, what do you think about Bobby Roode's own personal top 10 list as given by Jinder Mahal?
Oh, yeah. So they're trying to get this top 10 gimmick over, which it makes sense to do. Makes sense to do it with a feud. It just, I don't know. Something we pointed out, they added only faces, and this time it was Zack Ryder instead of Randy Orton. Still no Rusev, right? Because he's technically a heel.
Hey, man, they're too busy listening to what the crowd wants. Remember last week when Shane McMahon said they listen to the crowd?
Duly noted.
They're too busy doing that.
Yeah, duly noted. Yeah. It's. I don't know. This feud is on paper. I couldn't think of an uglier feud.
I could think of one uglier feud.
And then
Jinder Mahal versus Plaque.
And then right after it, we get what we've been talking about this entire time. Oh, Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon not agreeing. And the fact that there's never going to be a payoff for that, it makes us not care at all. Am I wrong with that? Thinking that's got to be in the back of your minds. It's like, why are we doing this if they're never going to let the guy wrestle again?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they're so. I feel like this is Vince's idea of trying to hit the Indian market. He's like, eventually, if I just keep trying hard enough, they're gonna just fall into my hands. But obviously that's not the case. I'm not saying you should just get rid of Jinder completely. I mean,
Jinder's
I was thinking maybe there was a spot for him in the mid card, maybe not. I don't know, man. I definitely don't want to have the belt again.
I think Jinder needs to be back on Raw. Just for his sake. I feel like he'll do much better. Better than he's doing now. It's just everyone is so exhausted of what happened over the summer.
And they put him with Bobby Roode and Randy Orton there, the 3 slowest workers in the company.
Exactly. Like I said, on paper, I can't think of anything uglier for a title feud of actual guys that could go for
My God, you throw any of these 3 guys in a match with 3 athletic people. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing people forget. The reason why Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura's matches were good were because Shinsuke was okay. Hold on.
I'm waiting.
Not like a 5-star match. Good means average. Okay.
No, I know. I'm not talking.
So the reason why they were average matches, yeah, we could watch those and be like, all right, that was all right match, you know, was because Shinsuke is athletic enough to make up for Bobby's lack of athleticism. And so you're still impressed. You're like, oh man, that was a good match between those 2, even though it was really mostly Shinsuke's athleticism you were impressed with. Whereas if you put 2 guys that require a guy like that to make the match even average, it makes the match start off at like at least 2 stars at the maximum that you could get, and you have to build it up from there with different things that jump you over those levels, you know. So I mean, you're starting them at a disadvantage, and in a triple threat, you already kind of have that disadvantage because you got to work the storyline of 3 people when you know it's not the top feud in the company. So people aren't as interested, you know. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, how this match gets over with the crowd at Fastlane.
Can the whole show. Cut SmackDown. Make Raw 4 hours.
Look, dude, they need to seriously get rid of that writer. Like, I'm not one to call for something like that, but he's got to go. He killed that brand.
Well, the rumor is that, like, okay, they give all the, they're constantly cycling, right? It's no longer a single writer. They have an entire team. You can't single out one guy. The issue is that you have this whole team writing and nothing gets done. When you have so many people with so many ideas, it's everyone's job in that room to come up with ideas. And you only have a week to get it done, you know, from the last show, because you don't want to plan too far ahead usually. You have base ideas, but usually you don't want to pitch super long storylines. Maybe the next pay-per-view. And so, like, when you have that many people in the room, just nothing's going to get done. And so back when it used to be like 4 or 5 man writing teams, stuff could get done. And there was obviously one person at the front as the head writer, and then all the rest would fall into line. But now the term head writer, I feel like it doesn't mean much anymore. It's like everyone's walking on eggshells. So
I see that point.
It's specifically, and this is something I actually do have a little bit of knowledge of. It's something I've actually studied up at school, and I was actually told by a teacher I should pursue, which is TV writing and script writing and stuff like that. And the thing about TV writing that people should know, you have a very strict format you have to keep to. So, like when people saw WWE scripts and it was just like 2 bars, one with video stuff, one with audio stuff, people were confused as to why that's a script. They're like, "Oh, is this a WWE thing?" No, that's a script. That's what a script looks like. If I were handed a script of all my instructions as a videographer or something, it would look like that. And also scripts are different. Like the sound guy gets a different script than the video guy. It has all the same ideas on it, but it only has what he needs to do on it as his things. So you give these different shot sheets and different audio sheets to different people so that a show that can go off without having to have someone walking around and be like, all right, hit the sound. All right, hit the music. You know, all right, hit the video. All right, do this. All right, do that. You know, you just know that's going to happen at that time because the pyro guys hit the right pyro and the music guys hit the right music. You know, so and scripting out in a week what you're going to show for a 3-hour show. I mean, I was writing a 60-second newscast and it took me probably 2 weeks of writing it and then a week to produce the actual news break that I did. So, you know, and you're giving them a week to write 3 hours. in 2 hours, I mean, that's a lot of time to fill, man.
And what it is each writer, they give a different segment or a different match or a different promo or whatever. So, like, the rumor is that, like Meltzer has said, is that the most unpolished, the newest writers on the staff are always given the women promos to start on, which that's why they suck. That's why the promos are awful for the women. It's because it's all the newer people that are writing. And then, I think WWE has so much money. They can go out and get the most experienced, the best writers that they want.
On this planet.
Obviously, they'd rather groom their own people. Look how long it took for Michael Cole to actually be good. I used to hate him back in the day. And now he's finally good, in my opinion. I like Michael Cole. But a lot of people don't.
Job perfectly fine.
So, those deals, they'd much rather roll with a Corey Graves and groom him and make him the next guy than with a Mauro Ranallo, who is proven. They stick him on NXT. So WWE just likes to have their guys. I don't see why someone from a big popular TV show couldn't come in on that writing staff and do wonders. But we have a number one contenders match, New Day versus Gable and Benjamin. The New Day won. The ref missed a pin, so this might keep going for another week or something, but I think Benjamin and Gable are done because New Day are also going to be moving on. Or sorry, never mind. I had a brain fart for a second. But I don't know. I still think New Day are moving on. Hopefully someone's turning on someone soon enough. What do you think, Charlie?
I mean, between the New Day, Gable and Benjamin and Bludgeon Brothers, I almost feel like they're just gonna throw them all together with the Usos, like some big Columbo Jumbo match at Mania.
Columbo Jumbo match. What does that match do? Like what's in that match, Charlie? What are the steps?
Death and destruction.
Then I'll take
a flat ring. It's a flat ring, and you have to. I know the rings are all flat. It's a joke about Christopher Columbus. Anyway, because his name was Columbo. But anyway, yeah, people that didn't know that. Here's your random fact of the day. I'm not even going into my joke now. I'm abandoning it because random fact of the day is Christopher Columbus's name was actually Christopher Columbo. There you go. All right.
There wasn't there a Mark Columbo in WWE or Mike Columbo?
And I think the reason why they did the Columbus thing, I think it was like a designation.
Right.
Like
Chuck Columbo. That's who I'm thinking of.
Someone's probably going to be like,
Actually, Christopher Columbus's name was actually Columbus. If you look at the ancient texts from Sumeria, it's like,
okay, fine.
I don't think anyone like that is going to be in our chat. I'll be completely honest.
In our chat, probably not.
If anyone is cultured on, if anyone has learned on the ancient, what do you say, Sumerian? Sumerian. Yeah, I never liked history. History wasn't my thing. You know what is my thing though? Watching the Bludgeon Brothers.
The Flubbin Brothers.
Beat the piss out of some randos.
Yeah.
It's fun to me. I like
dude.
A lot of people are critical, but these guys have always been good.
Bizarro World, give them the title, screw it.
I don't care what are you guys with, like, I don't care what their gimmick is. People are busting their balls for their gimmick. Like, I like watching them wrestle. I don't give a crap what their
They could just be Harper and Rowan. Why can't they just be Harper and Rowan? Why do they got to be the Bludgeon Brothers?
Because being Harper Bludgeon and Rowan Bludgeon.
Harper Bludge. That's a great name.
Harper Bludge.
Oh, those are two other guys that they got the names cut from them. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad times. AJ Styles faced Baron Corbin.
sorry.
It was a really nice deep six, and other than that, I don't remember anything out of this match.
That's basically it.
Yeah.
It's an okay match. It was a Styles and AJ match. It happened.
AJ beat Corbin. Once again, doesn't matter. It was a bunch of inconsequential stuff on Raw or on SmackDown. Was there anything of note at all? Not that I remember, right?
Meh.
Ruby and Charlotte.
That's right. Ruby Riott and Charlotte are going against it. So Ruby Riott can come out and just lose every week, and she gets the title match?
Pretty much.
Well, not every week.
50-50 booking. Good old 50-50.
You know, because next week she'll win again so that the two losses in a row she got don't matter, you know. So, whatever.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah. I totally skipped over that, didn't I? The 6-woman tag. Do we really need to talk? We don't need to talk about it.
No, we got all we needed out of it. That's what came out of it.
Oh, God. I'm giving SmackDown an F. Any of you guys want to give it something higher?
I'll give it an F+.
Nice. Feeling generous tonight.
I didn't like anything, so No, yeah, same. I'm trying to justify stuff, but I can't.
And
where was Shinsuke?
They're saving it, man.
Yeah.
They had him in like a little package right before they came back from commercial or something.
I don't even know. It's weird, man.
I think it was like one of those pimping other shows packages kind of thing, you know?
True.
Like, be in Orlando on the 5th, and you'll get in for free because we have no money.
On 205 Live, Buddy Murphy and I'm blanking. God damn it.
Buddy Murphy and
Mustafa Ali were victorious. Moving on to the next round. They face each other in 2 weeks. That'll be good. Buddy Murphy looked great. He debuted this new finisher. If you have not seen it, you got to go look at it. It will make you poop your drawers. And I'm pretty sure he's going to be staying on 205 Live.
Who calls them draws anymore, bro?
True. But that finisher,
Florida, it's not a South. It's not the South, bro. It's not the real South.
True.
South Light.
That finisher, that could get him over with crowds for sure.
Florida is the TNA of the South.
And there you go. On 205 Live next week, we got Kalisto and Roddy Strong and Cedric versus TJP. Who do you guys got in those matches?
Hold on. What is it?
Cedric and TJP.
Okay.
Cedric.
Same.
Cedric, yeah.
And Kalisto versus Roddy Strong.
Roddy.
Kalisto.
I'm thinking Roddy. But I mean,
the rumor is that Triple H is rolling with Roddy as his guy, but like not every new person can win. You know what I mean? Mustafa Ali is still considered pretty new because he's never been in the title scene. So is Roddy. So is Buddy Murphy. Someone's gonna lose.
Yeah, I feel like the finale is gonna be Cedric and Mustafa. I think that's the
he looks just like
route that they're rolling. Sorry, but yeah, that was cool. That finisher was awesome. Good in-ring stuff, I will say. Out of the 3 shows, good in-ring stuff.
I watch it like a TV show, not a sporting event, so that's why I always have such a negative view on things. But hey, maybe Russo's podcasts are getting to me, bro. David said, bro.
I watch it as a broadcast, man, and it's sometimes I'm just like, you know.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe and click that little bell. So you know when we go live, we're gonna go watch some Big Brother. Big Brother, brother. And until next time, see ya.
See ya.